In today's episode, we are going to be talking about kind of like gratitude and kind of like what I've been going through and thinking about, and really just being in the present moment, enjoying the big things, the little things, the synchronicities, and just talk. Really, I feel like I was just really inspired to come outside and talk, and I had this idea of like doing if you're watching this on YouTube, it's like a new setup, and it's just me in the ground. And I feel like it was giving me vibes of like when you like just lay in the ground and you're talking with friends and whatnot. So it kind of gave me that vibe, and I wanted to do it. And I wanted to see how it will come out. So this is a new format, and I might be doing this just like later. Right now it's around 4 p.m. So, and the sun's kind of hitting my face a bit, but it's alright, and it's really interesting. I really wanted to just see how this like idea came to life. But with that being said, that's a topic. So welcome back to another episode of Melo Moresco. Today we have another solo episode, and yeah, I'm really excited for this one. It's gonna be just me talking, and hopefully like people can relate to whatever I'm gonna be talking about. And yeah, and if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, share, because that supports the podcast and lets me know that you are enjoying these videos. And if you're listening on Spotify, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Audio, yes. And you could also comment on Spotify and follow on Apple Podcasts as well. With that being said, let's start the episode. So, this past weekend has been or this past week maybe has been like a fluctuating of emotions, but just like me trying to understand how I'm feeling. So I've been listening to a lot of episodes, like podcast episodes on like either like spirituality or Lewis House episodes or Jay Shetty. No, I haven't listened to Jay Shetty. I've listened to an interview with Jay Shetty, but it was in his podcast. And then just like random videos as well that have made me think a lot as well. So I feel like I think I want to start with the video that I watched with trauma, and like it was this channel where they were like kind of rating, or they were gonna like, I think there was like 6-7 people, and they were like rating themselves on like they had to rate who had the most trauma and who had the least trauma and whatnot. But at the end of the day, ended up being like the message was that like you shouldn't be rating your trauma. Like everybody has their own trauma, and it's very it's very subjective, and depending on the person, depending on each case, everybody's gonna deal with their traumas differently. And just because someone had a really tough time, like really really bad trauma, quote, or really like actually really bad trauma, and comparing it to maybe someone who didn't have as much trauma, depending on how they saw life and their perspective, then they could have like the same mindset, or one could be worse than the other. In this case, like maybe like the one who had less trauma could be like way far off, like needing more therapy sessions and whatnot. So all of that was very interesting, but it also made me think about like, it made me think of like how privileged I am as well, of how little trauma I have. I feel like the trauma that I do have, like that's probably like, for me it was a lot where it influenced a lot of like who I am and my personality and the way I behave the way I behave. But at the end of the day, I feel like it wasn't that bad, and even like the consequences that it did had, it just led me to where I am now. So at the end of the day, I'm just like very grateful, and that it was just that situation. And even with all the things that I've had to deal with, I'm able to kind of like recover or heal that part of me, and like now choose differently. And then I also have like amazing parents. Like yes, there's like a lot of things, especially with like, I feel like in a lot of families there's that like where there's families where, at least in my experience, where it's like even though we say that family is like big value for us, I feel like we've been very it's been a very hypocrisy type of thing. But at the end of the day, we know that we all love each other, and and now we're all working towards like actually, okay, we say family is a big value of ours. How does that actually look like? So it's been very interesting. So again, I through watching that video, it kind of reminded me of how grateful I am, and things could have been way, way, way worse. And I obviously also not invalidating what I went through, but again, just reminding myself how privileged and how blessed I am, and hopefully, like, if if you don't have like a lot of trauma, quote unquote, like whatever it is, or like like things that could be simple, but for us, how we deal with it, it might have not been as simple as, because we also, like, even though that might have not been like a big trauma, we still had to figure out how to deal with all of that, and that's what made it big for us. So I think all of that's a very interesting conversation. But what I'm trying to say is that I was reminded of how grateful I am, and it's been a lot of like my thoughts recently. It's been of I'm grateful. Also, like kind of like also questioning of the questions of kind of like towards God, of like, okay, if life is supposed to be simple, and we all are merecedores of deserving of the things that we want, the life that we want, that's actually aligned with our purpose and what we're meant to be doing in this life, then like what's the way? And so that's honestly, it's always been my my issue of like, what's my purpose, like what am I supposed to be doing? And I feel like now I've kind of like started to let that go. I started to let that go. So I think, especially with the conversation I had with Gracieta, it kind of like reminded me, especially, I don't know if y'all watched the episode. If not, and if not, go check it out. Whether or not you speak Spanish or not, go learn Spanish through that episode. And if you need to practice your Spanish, if you're a no sabe kid, go practice your Spanish with my episode. But pretty much, like, in one of her things, she was saying like sometimes your purpose, like especially if you don't know like big picture what it is, start with the small stuff of like literally enjoying the moment, like being grateful for life. Like she gave the example, like if you hate your job and you feel like you can't get out of your, maybe your purpose is to start enjoying that job, and like then doors are gonna start opening. So I think I've been doing that a lot of like, okay, I don't like where I am right now, but I'm gonna enjoy where I am. I'm gonna start enjoying where I am, and like where I am right now, it's pretty fucking awesome. I'm in Tennessee. I'm at a farm, just learning a bunch of stuff and things I honestly never imagined I would be doing. So I'm just fucking grateful for all of this, and to not be grateful for this, it'll be kind of crazy, and for me and for many of us, it's it'll, not being grateful where we are, especially if we're in a good situation, then we're kind of like ignoring what life is supposed to be about, and it's like enjoying and being grateful and enjoying the moments, and also understanding that it's not always going to be good, or like you always have to be happy. That's something I've always struggled with, and just because I'm here doesn't mean I'm always happy. Like, no, there's like doubts that come in, there's like fears, there's like not as much negativity anymore, but definitely like, okay, like, but am I supposed to be doing something else, and all of those things. But then I start to redirect, or even just like specific situations, either with family, relationships, and like they come in. But when I was listening to the book Conversaciones con Dios, Conversations with God, if you haven't read that book, go read that book or listen to it. It's in English, it's in Spanish, it's really, really good. Like, it's probably one of the books that have changed my life or my perspective. But in that book, he was saying how you start seeing how you're evolucionando, how you're evolutionizing especially when through your reactions, on how you react, how you behave. And it's pretty like common sense, I guess, but I feel like I've seen it more, like I've been aware of it in the moment, so there's conversations that I've had where it's like, where I could have reacted badly, or I could have been more I guess like toxic, but it's like in those conversations, it's like, okay, I'm listening, I'm hearing, I'm trying to understand what you're talking about, what you're trying to say. And then also when it's not in conversation, but it's like me trying to understand the whole situation, I think those moments have also been very cool. Like, even though it's not like the best situations that I want to be in, or just like, but I am trying to understand those situations, and all of those things are patting our backs because we're trying to choose differently, we're trying to react differently, and all of those things have been part of the process, you know. Like, I've had to go through certain challenges to kind of like to be where I am right now, and I'm sure that's the case for a lot of us, where it's like we've been doing the work and sometimes we feel like we're not going anywhere, and it's like, oh, but I'm sad, but I'm in the funk, but I'm this, but I feel this, and I feel angry, and it's like, man, like, we, especially depending on how old you are, but it's like, for me, I've been such a negative person, and like, and always trying to like always trying to evolve, always trying to be better, but at the same time putting myself down. And for me to now have so much grace and compare myself, I don't think I've compared myself in how we're usually used to, but definitely comparing myself on in the sense of like, I'm not where I am. Like, I don't care. I feel like for me it's been, I don't care where I am or how successful I am, as long as I love what I'm doing. But I feel like I'm in neither of those sides. Like, I'm not successful and I'm not doing what I'm not enjoying what I'm doing. And so I feel like I've been chasing that thing of like, I want to love what I want to enjoy and do, and the job that I have is like not feel like a job, because, you know, it's I love doing it. But I feel like I'm not completely there yet, and before now I have more grace. Before, I used to like always like, what am I doing, blah blah blah, like, I need to do something, like, why don't I feel any joy? And all of that has been a process, like literally consciously enjoying the moments and like just breathing when I see like a tree, or when I see like a bird flying, or someone else admiring certain things, you know, like being in the plane and just seeing the windows and see the fucking clouds, of like how fucking cool that is, that I'm on top of fucking cloud. Like, I feel like those moments I've missed a lot, and even now I also like sometimes miss them. But I definitely tried to be more like aware and conscious, and like, okay, when I realize that I'm not in the moment, like, remind, oh, like, I need to be in the moment, or just like not distracting, but how to explain, like, I think it just happens automatically, where like maybe I'm like distracted, but then I see something and it's like, oh shit, that's so fucking awesome. You know, it's like moments like that. So I forgot, like, forgot what I was talking about. I like went everywhere. But yeah, I feel like it's also very curious, especially now where I'm starting to see these synchronicities, or like these things, these changes. I'm like very curious on like how things are gonna start evolving and developing and changing, because, you know, as someone who's first gen, as someone who's parents of immigrants, as someone who was a very shy person, who was a very negative person, I'm very curious on how things are gonna start what's the word? I want to say it in Spanish, and I don't even know how to say it in English. Like, not evolving, but unfolding. So unfolding in English, desenvolviéndose in Spanish. And so I'm really very very curious on, like, I feel like I'm definitely better on like loving myself, amor propio. I think I'm also healing the inner child. I think there's still maybe stuff, maybe because I feel like I haven't really done specific exercises, but I think I've definitely healed, um or improved, or acknowledged my inner child more, um being in the present moment, enjoying the things, and also like surrendering and letting go of expectations. I think you can work towards where you want to go, but also not be fully, what's it called? I don't have a bunch, or I don't have, maybe there is expectation, but not expectations in the sense of, of what am I trying to say? Not expectations in the sense of like I need to control the situation and this is the outcome that needs to happen. And it's not that type of expectation. It's like I have a goal, I would like to be in that goal, but I surrender to whatever the outcome is, and I'm just gonna work on what I can control. And if it doesn't happen, and the universe, God, my guides tell me that it's another way or lead me to another way, then it's okay. Like I'm not controlling the whole situation. So I'm definitely very curious on how things are gonna start desenvolviéndose, because, and I think this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do the episode, and it's because yesterday, I don't know if you watched the previous podcast episode, I believe I mentioned how in March I was like struggling with money. I'm like, I wasn't really working, and I felt guilty because like, man, I should be working and I should be like making money, but like I have enough for like to last me for like a month and a half. And I was like, because I've been in this whole thing of of understanding that I am deserving of things, and like if when I do take a risk, it's a bit planned, like I have enough money, but also trusting the universe. So I have I have some things under control, but then there's still things where it's like if I'm gonna take the risk, I'm gonna need some help. So during March, like I mentioned in the previous episode, I asked God, universe, my guides to help me out. Like I need some money. Like like please give me some money. And but I should give a side note where like you shouldn't be asking like that. It's like I want what would it be, like deseo dinero, or yeah, I just want money, but in the not an arrogant way, like humbleness. I don't know how to say it. It's like Dios. It's more for me. I feel like I have more of a conversation. Like God, like I need money. I'm gonna take this risk, or I'm gonna like go for it. Like this thing that I've been wanting to do, I'm gonna go for it. All I not all I ask, but I ask for help. I ask that give me money, give me dinero. And pretty much in that story, it's where like at the end of the month, I was like, oh shit, I don't have money. Like, how am I gonna go to this trip? And no, well, yes, how am I gonna do this trip? But then also being already here in Tennessee, and then and then realizing that I don't have like a bunch of money. And so I asked God, like God, like even though I asked him like throughout the whole month, but like really more I feel like in the last week I was like asking, but also surrendering at the time, and pretty much not really asking. It's like more trusting. Like I trust you that things are gonna turn out the way that they're gonna, however they need to turn out. Like I trust you, and I keep forgetting that phrase. Like Lord or behold, what's that? And somebody needs to tell me how that phrase goes. But pretty much March 30, my friend sends me a message where like she's like, oh, like pretty much she's gonna give me the money that I let her borrow. And March 31st, she sends me the money that I let her borrow. And for me, that was like so fucking crazy. And it's like that thing of like, no hay coincidencias, son solamente diosidencias. And for me, that I was so freaking grateful. And it's so crazy that it's already been 2 weeks. But like that moment for me, it was like, there's been moments, but for me, that was like a moment of like realizing like, oh, God got me. Like God got me. Like he's gonna, or they, God's gonna help me out whenever I need help, and whenever I ask for help, you know. And then this month of and then so I was able to pay my rent, I was able to pay my credit card, and like have some savings. then April was like, okay, I'm also gonna need money here, God, because I'm not gonna be working, and yeah, I'm not gonna be working. So like, where am I gonna get money from? And so thankfully it's tax season, so I think God was like, you know what, here's some money. So I was able to get some money from taxes, and it came literally yesterday. And this is where the amazing part is coming, or this is the amazing part of the story, is that when I received that money and I checked my bank account, the total of the whole amount of I mean, I'm gonna be like sharing how much money I have, but the numbers were 3333.17. And if you know anything about numerology, if you know anything about like how the ways, if you know ways of, if you understand that there's different ways of God, universe, communicate, that can wait, how am I saying this phrase? Hold on. There's also ways that God or universe communicates, right? There's different ways, and one of those ways is through numerology. And for me to see that number, like again, it's not coincidencia, it's diosidencia, that God wanted me, at least for me and how I'm seeing things, is God wanted me to see that number. And not to mention, also a bit more detail, is that day I was watching a video from Fer Broca, shout out to Fer Broca, where he was talking about numerology and numbers, and the number 33, it's the message of, you have backup, like no, you have support, like this whole invisible realm is supporting me, and you go do what you want to do, like go do what you want to do, haz lo que tienes que hacer, and we'll support you, and we'll help you, we'll guide you. And for me, that was such a beautiful message, and I'm so thankful I watched the episode, because with the definitions, or the meaning I already had from the number 33, it really added more to the meaning of this whole number. And for me, it's like I've been talking to God, I've been having conversations with God, and sometimes I don't know, I feel like a crazy person, where like I don't know if he's listening, or if God is listening, if the universe is listening to me. But when I see these numbers, it's like, man, like they are listening to me, and it's like, seeing this number 3,333, it's like, it almost makes me want to tear up, because sometimes you feel like you oh my god, I think I am gonna tear up, but like sometimes you feel like you're just talking to nobody, right? You just feel like you're talking to nobody, and you feel like, damn, I didn't think I was gonna cry. um oof. Sometimes you feel like you're doing the thing, right? Ooh, oh my god. uh, Sometimes you feel like you're doing the thing. You're oh, my voice. My voice is cracking. Sometimes you feel like you're doing the thing that you think is the right thing to do for you at the moment, for us at the moment, right? But sometimes you don't know if truly that's the right thing. And when I see these numbers, when I receive kind of like when I receive what I'm asking for, because those are like my fears of, like, I don't have enough, but I'm doing the thing. It's like God. I feel like God is kind of like not premiándome, but like kind of like rewarding me because I took the risk, and two, also letting me know that He is listening to me, and three, that He's gonna support me or He's supporting me and helping me and guiding me when when I need it, and I'm always gonna need it. So it's really really cool. I mean, hopefully I said that correctly because my head is kind of like, why am I crying? But it's really beautiful to kind of like to see those and like be conscious about these things, and when I feel personally, when I feel like things are going wrong, it's like I remember these moments like, man, no, like don't worry about it. We're like things are gonna pass, like time is gonna pass. Two, you're gonna see how it unfolds, and you took the action that you thought was right at the moment. And three, like God's still always gonna be there for you. God, universe, arcángeles, angels, Jesus, like all these amazing people who are helping us, all these energies and spirits and all these like however we want to call them, like they're always gonna be there for us, and it's so freaking wild, and I'm so freaking blessed, and hopefully like y'all are too. Like I hope y'all are starting to realize that, and maybe like again we don't have everything. Like after this trip I have no fucking clue on what I'm gonna do. I have no fucking clue. But I hope that we all are one realizing or like waking up to like, shit, I can do whatever I want, in the sense of like, if this is what I want, if this is if this is if this is going to be done in the right intention, and if this is going to be something that's going to fulfill me, or I believe is going to fulfill me, and I plan for it. I've done what I could. Like most of the time, it requires to save some money, but definitely like everything is planned. Everything's like okay. I got backup plans, and I'm gonna do the thing. It's like allowing ourselves to one, do the thing and not let fear stop us, especially like last minute, and two, know that God is always there for us. Like God, universe, archangels, ancestors, like they're always gonna be there for us to help us whenever we need it. And I think that's like such a blessing to be 24 and know that the universe, God, all these archangels and spirit guides are helping me and are helping us. And truly, truly I am. And like being here has made me realize so many things of like how fortunate I am, how privileged I am, how like how amazing the amazing family that I have, the the amazing person that I am, and being able to do the thing and just do, and not letting things stop me. And hopefully like whoever can relate to this, to like, relate to my story, hopefully hopefully that you should be proud of yourself, that the risks that you're taking, like they're not in vain, like you were meant to do the things that you want to do, and then you are deserving of the things that you want to do. And we don't have to suffer in the way that religious tells us, or maybe our families have told us, like, oh, tienes que sufrir to get what you want, or you gotta hustle 24/7. Like, no, man, like, no, we gotta stop those beliefs. Like, I honestly, I felt a lot of guilt with like not working a lot, and just like understanding, saving the money that I did make, and paying my bills, and maybe not having enough to go out with friends and whatnot, but just like always trying to figure things out. And I felt a lot of guilt, but I feel like now it's like it's just part of my past. At the end of the day, I can't change the past, and I'm working towards just doing the thing of like what I want to do, and not what society expects me to do, not what family expects me to do. It's just whatever I want to do, and now it's being more ingrained in my head, and hopefully in yours too, is that like I am deserving of an amazing life. I am deserving, and I choose to have an amazing life. And again, we have to define what that means for us. Like sometimes it's gonna be different for everybody. I'm sure there's people who like want to be CEOs, and like I want to have a $10 million empire or a $1 billion empire. And for me, it's like nah, man, I just want to chill. I want to have the opportunity to like make videos in the middle of a farm, just laying down and just talking and having an amazing view, like being able to cross. Right, like after I've done this video, I'm probably gonna go across the street and see some cows, and I'm probably gonna go back over there and like go visit the pigs and the dogs. Like there's like just I know I want to make a certain amount of money. I know I want to travel. I know I want to have an idea I do have, and if somebody's watching this and is famous or is like no not famous but it's like loves what they're doing and that's like their main thing, or maybe not even thing like their hobby, but like they're very into it and hopefully like safe and legal. It should be legal, like should be legal, not illegal, legal. An idea that I did have was kind of like hanging out, and it's been done before. I'm sure. I just haven't really watched. No, I've watched a few, kind of, but pretty much my idea or something that I would like to do maybe is pretty much like what I'm doing here, like shadowing someone and just doing what they're doing. So in this case, I'm on a farm. I'm doing farm work. I'm learning all the things that are required to have a farm, the task that needs to be done, the obstacles that come to being a farmer and whatnot, the decisions that you have to make as a farmer. Sorry. And so I want to do that, but not just with farms, but with like any field. So, shout out to Brittany and Blue Hair Farmstead, where she was telling me how she used to make paper, like literally paper. And I'm like, what do you mean paper? But like, there's an art to making paper, and there's so many ways and make not different ways of how to make paper, but also like the design of it and like things you could add and like to for the paper to be some type of art as well. Like you could add flowers or you could make it out of different things, right? So imagine like being able to hang out for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks with somebody who loves making paper and just like seeing what they do and like being able to learn it as well and just like being an assistant and then being able to capture all of that. I think that would be so fucking awesome. I think that's really cool. How is that gonna happen? Hopefully somebody watches this video and is like, I want to invite you to where I work and I want you to come and I want you to learn everything and share it with everybody. I think that's like best case scenario. I'm probably gonna have to send some emails. But yeah, I'm just excited for all of that. I don't know again where life is gonna lead me, but I know like, and I've heard it. I don't know if y'all listen to I don't remember her name, but I think her name's like Nat something. She's like a tarot reader and whatnot. And like I love her readings. I feel like they might be all the same. I don't know, but when I listen to it, like it reminds me of the things that sometimes I may forget of like the servingness and one of the things that she mentioned was like if you're realizing all of all these amazing things that have happened, if you're seeing all the amazing things that are happening in your life, and for me it's like the numbers, the receiving money, the being able to be in Tennessee for a whole month, almost a month and a week, like all these things that are happening that have happened, like the whole road trip in Texas, everything that happened in Texas, being able to go to Mexico, previous year being able to go to Texas with my mom, like, and then everything that's happened in between, me growing as a person, like if I'm seeing all these things, if I'm seeing how amazing life could be and knowing that it could get way better, where I don't have to like struggle or be asking God for money like every single month, like God I need money, like just having it every single month and more than I have, and then being able to share it as well, like and so back to what she was saying is like if you realize all these things and you know all these amazing things that happen, you're not meant to stay where you are right now. Like right now in the struggling part is like financial stuff and like what's the next step. But if you're realizing and you're seeing and you're conscious of how the amazing things that have been happening, like, you're not meant to stay in that struggling part. Like, you're gonna transform. And this is also what I've been listening to with Azul Arete, is the like, it's the quantum leaps, being able to like change your state, and like changing your state, changing how you feel, and then acting differently. All of those are little chains into transforming and pretty much creating that quantum leap. And so all of that is so freaking awesome. And again, I'm super pumped on like how things are gonna start unfolding and desenvolviéndose. And I hope that whoever watches this video, I hope whoever is in this journey and like maybe feels guilty because they think that they're not doing enough, or because, you know, there's like, they just feel guilty for whatever reason, or like whatever it is, like whatever, or like maybe you are doing too much, it's like you don't know how to stop. Like, I hope you realize that whatever the situation like is, and you don't want to be there no more, like that you can change, that we can change things, and things can be differently. And maybe it might take a bit of time, but things are just gonna get better and better. Things are just gonna get better and better. And of course, maybe some little obstacles in here, little obstacles over there, but at the end of the day, man, at the end of the day, there were caterpillars again. These caterpillars follow me everywhere. But at the end of the day, we are blessed. We are blessed, and we are blessed, man. Like, man, I didn't think I was gonna be like those people who like talk about God and like universe, but, and maybe it's not like that specifically, but definitely like there's something out there who's guiding us and helping us and wants the best for us. And when we want the best for us as well, man, that's a match. And things are gonna start coming towards us where it's like, things are just gonna be great. And there's a lot of things, yes, that we have to learn, and maybe like a lot of like factors, but that's like the main message. And if you haven't listened to the book, or read the book, Conversaciones con Dios, Conversation with God, like, go read that book, because, man, it changes your perspective. And even if it may not be like, or maybe if it makes you question like a lot of things, one of the cool things that God mentioned in that book is that don't believe anything that I say, experience it, like experiment, like see if what I'm telling you is true. And if it doesn't work for you, like, that, like, it didn't work for you, it's not true. But if it does, you're gonna start seeing the transformation, changes. And man, oh man, am I excited for that, because I do believe like almost, if not everything that the book mentioned. And today I am also experimenting and like, having my own experiences where maybe I don't know how people could debate my beliefs right now, but if it were to happen, like, I have the experiences to back it up. And that's just what I'm doing, and I'm sharing it here. I'm sharing it. Yeah, I guess it's just YouTube. I need to work on my social medias. But yeah, I don't know what else to say, man. I think I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful, and yeah, I think that's all I really could say. I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed, and I can't wait to see how things evolve. Imagine me coming next up to like, yeah, man, no, like, this. Like, I had a bad week, man. But no. Even if it is that way, like, I always come back, and it's always coming back to trusting this whole invisible realm and myself. So even if there is like a bad week or bad month, like, I'm always gonna come back to that, or to this. So yeah, man, I hope you do too. I hope this helped you, maybe encourage you, and if it made you question certain things, or you have any questions, or you want to maybe have a conversation, leave it in the comments below, and I'll try my best to reply for sure. But if I don't, just know that I did read your message, your comment. But yeah, I would love to know what you think. your experiences. What are you going through right now? I forgot to bring my cards. I was gonna start this whole tradition of answering a question, but I forgot to bring it. And I don't think I remember a specific question on top of my head. Um, yeah, I don't know. Let's breathe for a little. Let's take like some 5 deep breaths before we end this episode. So let's inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. 2 more. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, sorry, I'm like losing my voice and I can't breathe because I cried and my nose stumbled. But hopefully you were able to breathe and, man, realize how grateful life is. And if you're not in the best spot right now, like, man, know that things are gonna get better. You just gotta change your mindset and acknowledge and or know or change your belief that there's someone out there guiding you, whatever you believe, whatever you want to call it. But they do want the best for you. You just gotta realize that you gotta choose it for yourself first, and then the help will come. And maybe it might seem that it's gonna take a while. Maybe it might seem that it's gonna be like a month or 2 months. But like, I think it's all about faith and like doing the thing, doing the way you can control. So with that being said, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, comment, like, no, please. Well, please, and do it. Subscribe, comment, like, share. And if you're listening on Spotify, thank you so much. Go check out the video on YouTube as well, because I have a new format or new like layout, I guess, and it's really interesting. And I would like to know what you thought about it. And I'm probably gonna be doing more like this, because this more like this. I feel like I'm losing my voice. More like this, because it was fun. Hopefully there's not like a bunch of animals on me right now. But yeah, definitely, if you're listening, thank you so much. So leave a comment there, follow there, all of that fun stuff. And with that being said, have an amazing, beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next one.